And I spoke earlier to India Today's Rohit Sharma, who faced that ordeal, and he gives us a first-hand account of exactly what transpired. Rohit, we want to hear from you firsthand on what exactly happened on September 7th in Dallas. First of all, thank you very much for speaking out on that ordeal, on what happened 7 days ago. Can you just recount that for us, for our viewers?
Sure. Thanks for having me, Akshita. So, look, as I wrote in the story that I did, I think I'll just go back to last Saturday. I was in Dallas covering Mr. Gandhi's visit. I had arranged an interview with Mr. Pitroda. We were going to interview that evening. And so I went to the hotel. I think everything was fine. There were a lot of people in his room. He recognized me. We shook hands and we did the interview. During the interview, one of the questions I asked was about what kind of issues would be raised by Mr. Gandhi during his anticipated meetings with the U.S. politicians, which Mr. Pitroda was asking, and I followed up about the minorities and Hindus getting killed in Bangladesh, and would that be one of the conversations he will have with the U.S. lawmakers? Mr. Pitroda answered that question, and he almost completed the answer. And I think if I recollect properly, he said something to the effect of it would be up to Mr. Gandhi and the lawmakers to decide what's relevant and what they want to talk about. But then somebody in that room then started yelling that this is a controversial question. Other joined in, and suddenly there was an escalation, which somebody said, "Band karo and end this interview," which again was, I think, uncalled for. I think even Mr. Pitroda didn't think that way. At least that's my understanding. I think Mr. Pitroda wanted to complete his answer. But these were members who thought that this is not the right question. And then Mr. Pitroda had to, and I knew for a fact that he had to go to the airport to receive Mr. Gandhi. So he was doing it right before that. So he was then, reminded that he's got to go. And so they told him to leave the room. And so the interview kind of abruptly ended there. And then I think that's when the tussle started about deleting the interview, grabbing the phone, and what I've written down about essentially, trying to use my Face ID and making sure that the interview is deleted from my photos library, from my recently deleted items folder. There were attempts made to see if the interview had actually synced up with iCloud. And if it was so, then they wanted to get to that and also delete that. And so it was a very harrowing experience. Never experienced that.
I'm sure. And Rohit, when they took your phone, what exactly did they do? They deleted all the evidence, of course, of what happened. They deleted the interview as well completely. And to do that, if you could describe what played out then, because that's exactly when they restrained you, essentially.
Yeah, I had one person, and it happened so fast that one person who basically made me sit down and on a chair, and there was one person on I think either side of me, and just restrained sitting down while they were fiddling with my phone and trying to and I think in all this thing, I think there were people who were concerned about that this was probably going to go out before Mr. Gandhi landed, and I think that was their concern. So they were trying to do it, and they obviously needed my Face ID because I think when they took the phone, somebody must have locked it.
Yeah.
So there was one attempt to unlock it, and then the phone was given back to me to unlock it, and I said, "Well, let's not delete this." I was trying to reason with them, but they did not listen. And once the phone was unlocked, they went ahead and deleted stuff, and it felt very, as I said, I just felt like that that probably was uncalled for, especially when Mr. Pitroda and I have agreed to doing the interview. Mr. Pitroda was giving all the answers. I've interviewed Mr. Pitroda in the past, so I do not know, who decided to do that, but it was a very, very chaotic 20, 30 minutes in that room.
I can imagine how traumatic that is. There's been no apology from the Congress, but I apologize that you had to go through something like that, Rohit. Was Mr. Pitroda in the room? Did he see the confrontation playing out? Did he see that initially at least there was an objection to this interview being filmed and them requesting you to delete it? Did he intervene in any way?
Well, it happened in front of Mr. Pitroda when somebody said this is a controversial question. So I think he would know that that whoever assembled in that room, were taking objection and were going straight up to for my phone and the camera. So yes, Mr. Pitroda must be aware